Well, welcome to The Real Story. I told you at the top of the program today that our country is in real trouble. It's like a plane flying around with half of its engines on fire and you can't put them out. No matter which way you slice it, we are now in for a hard landing. Our pilot's job now is just keep that plane from falling out of the sky and killing everybody on board. To put it another way, we are in the middle of an all-out financial emergency, and emergencies have a way of really testing people. In normal times, under normal circumstances, if you tune in to me, you know me as somebody who would tell the federal government exactly where to take their bailout plans and shove it right up there, you know what. But these are anything but normal times. I thought about it an awful lot this weekend, and while it takes everything in me to say this, I think the bailout is the right thing to do. The real story is the $700 billion that you're hearing about now is not only, I believe, necessary, it is also not nearly enough, and all of the weasels in Washington know it. You think about this crisis again like an airplane, okay? We could have stopped this whole thing when the plane was sitting at the gate, and we were saying, don't load this thing up with easy money and McMansions for anybody who wants them. You can't take off in this plane. It's unsafe. Nobody listened. You could have turned it around when the plane was taxiing down the runway and we were still screaming, don't take off. We could have even turned it around just after takeoff. Now the plane, however, is over open ocean, has engine trouble. Who would have seen this one coming? Well, now we're stuck in a position where we let that plane fall out of the sky, or we do our best to try to have some sort of a controlled crash landing that saves lives and let us salvage what we can. I mean, there are 350 million people on this plane. The truth is that while $700 billion is an awful lot of money, it is not nearly enough to purchase all the bad assets out there because they're already after it. Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson knows this. So does Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke. So does the President. So does Chris Dodd, Barney Frank, Obama, McCain, all of them. They all know. When you start to realize that the term bad assets is soon going to apply from everything from credit card balances to your home equity loan to your car loan, you name it, that's going to add up. The real bailout number is probably going to be about 3 times higher. It's probably going to be at least $2 trillion or more. I have said this to you over and over again. You got to prepare. I am not a financial advisor. I'm a dope. I'm a rodeo clown. I'm a recovering alcoholic who spends way too much, saves way too little. I'm just trying to get by, just like you are, on the little bit of knowledge that I have. I am not trying to offer financial advice to anybody. I am trying to offer a dose of sanity and reality in a world that seems to have lost both. We are not in the 9th inning of this game. You know it and I know it. You feel it here in your gut. We are in the 2nd inning. The price for our years of greed and burying our heads in the sand while these companies and our government just loaded this plane up cannot be paid for by writing another check or passing a few new federal regulations. It's going to be much more painful than that. It has to be. That plane is going to come out of the sky one way or another. The taxpayers may have to pay the bill for this, but believe you me, the people who have done this to us, they better damn well be held accountable, and they will pay as well. Otherwise, these things will increase in value. I have been warning you and asking you, please spread the word about all of this since last year. But I've turned the page. While I am sorry that Gloomy Glenn is back, I need to tell you what all of the people with agendas or in a brokerage house or constituencies, they can't or won't tell you. A hard landing is now the best scenario we can hope for. Just don't kill everybody on the way down. The worst case scenario is just that. In the words of our immortal Treasury Secretary just last Wednesday night, quote, heaven help us all. Nouriel Roubini is a professor of economics at the CERN School of Business and New York University and chairman of RGEmonitor.com. Peter Schiff is the president of Euro-Pacific Capital and author of Crash Proof, How to Profit Off the Coming Economic Collapse. And Brett Ahrens, he is a personal finance columnist for the Wall Street Journal to try to help make sense of all of this. Peter, let me start with you. The bailout, I see this as just stopping the plane from falling out of the sky. Is this naive of me?
I think so. The problem is our pilot and our co-pilot, Bernanke, and Paulson don't know how to fly. I mean, they're blind, they're drunk. You know, they're going to crash this plane even faster. You know, the bailout is actually going to make it worse because we don't have the $2 trillion. We're just going to print it up. Instead of just the entire economy coming down, we're going to take our currency, and we're going to have a much bigger crisis when our money isn't worth anything and interest rates are double-digit because nobody will lend us any more.
All right, that's what I thought going into the weekend, and then reading more and more and seeing how, Noriel, were we not in 1929, just this last week, we were on the verge of a total meltdown in our economy, and most people don't even realize that.
That's absolutely right. By Wednesday, it looked like the entire financial